Pelosi speaks to the press in the Capitol Visitor Center on December 13, 2018. By Tom Williams/CQ Roll Call. Shortly after William Barr released his 4-page summary of the 300-page Mueller report, in which he took it upon himself not to charge Donald Trump with obstructing justice despite the fact that the special counsel's findings revealed he might have, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told Democrats that there was no reason to trust anything the Attorney General said. Barr's words, she told her colleagues, cannot be taken at face value, in light of the fact that he literally got his current job by sending an unsolicited 19-page memo to the Justice Department last June in which he called Robert Mueller's obstruction inquiry fatally misconceived, described the investigation as a whole as grossly irresponsible, and insisted Mueller should not be permitted to demand that the president submit to interrogation about alleged obstruction. In other words, as Pelosi implied, he was obviously going to let Trump off the hook. We have to see the unredacted report, the House Speaker told lawmakers. We cannot make a judgment on the basis of an interpretation by a man who was hired for his job because he believes the president is above the law and he wrote a 19-page memo to demonstrate that. And, as it turns out, Pelosi's assessment was pretty prescient. Barr spent his congressional testimony on Wednesday indulging in one of President's favorite conspiracy theories, that intelligence agencies might have spied on his 2016 campaign, and has reportedly formed a team to review actions taken by the FBI. Following Barr's testimony, Pelosi doubled down on her appraisal, telling reporters that Barr is doing Trump's bidding, and that she's very concerned about the AG's handling of the Mueller report. He is not the Attorney General of Donald Trump. He is the Attorney General of the United States, Pelosi told the AP. I don't trust Barr, I trust Mueller. She added that Barr's comments undermine the Constitution, as well as his role as the nation's top law enforcement official. Later on Wednesday, during a Democratic retreat in Leesburg, Virginia, Pelosi said that Barr is going off the rails and described the AG's actions as an obstruction of giving the truth to the American people. While Pelosi has previously said she is not for impeaching Trump, she has suggested that her opinion could change based on what she sees in the Mueller report. Barr has insisted he will not turn the report over to Congress, but the House leader has said she'll get her hands on it, one way or another. Asked if she still thought Trump was not worth impeachment, Pelosi said to wait and see the report. My view is that impeachment is very divisive in the country, and when we see what we need to see it may be imperative that he be impeached. But up until then, he's not worth it, Pelosi said. She said again, let us see the report. If you would like to receive the Levin report in your inbox daily, click here to subscribe. Jack Dorsey should probably eat something based on a recent interview with the Twitter CEO. It's probably been a while, Mr. Dorsey, who co-founded the platform Twitter and mobile payments company Square, said his daily routine includes fasting for 22 hours a day and walking the 5-mile commute to his office. The tech chief said skipping breakfast and lunch frees up his day and makes him more productive. His dinner usually consists of meat or fish accompanied with a salad or green vegetables, followed by some fruit or dark chocolate. Rather than easing up on himself on weekends, Mr. Dorsey said he has trialed 48-hour fasts from Friday to Sunday evening during which he only drinks water. The first time I did it, like day 3, I felt like I was hallucinating, Dorsey said on the Ben Greenfield Fitness podcast. It was a weird state to be in. But as I did it the next 2 times, it just became so apparent to me how much of our days are centered around meals and how the experience I had was when I was fasting for much longer, how time really slowed down. Uber is aiming for a lower-than-expected valuation for its upcoming IPO. The ride-hailing company is heeding the lessons of Lyft's first awkward days of trading as a public company and decided to go for a modest, low-key $100 billion valuation. Uber recently provided documentation to holders of its convertible notes that sets a potential price range of $48 to $55 a share. According to people familiar with the matter, that would equate to an aggregate valuation of between $90 billion and $100 billion, including the roughly $10 billion Uber expects to raise in the offering. Likely contributing to Uber's decision to take a conservative tack on valuation is the disappointing debut of smaller rival Lyft, which went public at $72 a share late last month. That price was well above Lyft's last private funding round and higher than the initial range targeted by the company and its underwriters. But after spiking on its first day of trading, the stock has been buffeted by waves of selling. On Wednesday, Lyft shares fell 11% to $60.12. Previously, Uber was expected to be valued at $120 billion, so the $100 billion represents restraint. The U.S. deficit grew bigly in the first half of the 2019 fiscal year thanks to Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The Treasury Department revealed in a budget report on Wednesday that the country's deficit grew by $691 billion in the first half of the 2019 fiscal year, beginning October 1, 2018, compared with the $600 billion in the comparable period last year. This jump is due to the sweeping tax cuts passed at the end of 2017 and increased federal spending. The national debt passed $22 trillion, the most ever, $2 trillion of which has been spent since Trump took office. According to the department, federal spending last month reached $376 billion, a 10% drop from the same month in 2018. As a reminder, when Trump was running for office he claimed that he would completely eliminate the debt in a matter of 8 years, a feat Ivanka Trump said would be achieved through tax cuts. IRS chief has not great news for parents who bribed their kids' way into college in addition to possible jail time, and the shame of having people know they photoshopped their non-soccer playing children's faces onto actual soccer players' bodies, said parents may also be writing sizable checks to the IRS. IRS Commissioner Chuck Rettig told the Senate Finance Committee his agency anticipates that numerous other individuals will be charged with criminal tax violations as a result of the investigation into alleged bribes paid to test examiners and college sports coaches to guarantee spots for students at elite U.S. universities. People charged with criminal tax violations could be required to correct their tax returns and pay back taxes, plus interest and penalties, Rettig told the panel Wednesday. Many tax crimes carry a maximum 5-year prison term and a fine of $100,000. Fines for civil tax violations can run as high as 75% of the unpaid tax, plus interest. Elsewhere, retiring as a judge, Trump's sister ends court inquiry into her role in tax dodges. NYT Renaissance explores settlement as IRS seeks billions in taxes. Bloomberg Saudi Arabia still faces investor unease amid Aramco bond rush. Financial Times Mnuchin says Treasury won't meet deadline for Trump tax returns. WSJ house flipping is back to pre-crisis levels. Here's why it's less of a concern. WSJ check billionaire accused of $1 billion fraud by New York hedge fund. Bloomberg doctors find Forbes living under woman's eyelid. UPI more great stories from Vanity Fair. The Ivanka email bombshell, the key to understanding the dark heart of the Mueller report is counterintelligence. Why some of the biggest names in publishing are resisting Apple's pull. The art world's ultimate cage match. Looking for more? Sign up.